Hello, I'm drinking a Mill 77's Citrus Arcade. Mill 77 might be becoming my favorite new hazy IPA brewer, or at least new to me. They're in Amesbury, Mass, which is hour north of Boston, almost in New Hampshire. And I had their other beer, Sunshine Daydream, that was like a New Zealand hopped hazy, and I thought it was pretty good, but it wasn't super fresh. This one is the January 5th date. It's the 15th, so if it's less than a month and a half old, that's very fresh. It should be very fresh. And this just showed up on shelves. So hopefully it's in good shape. Have to sit really warm or be packaged pretty badly to get oxidized in that amount of time. And the other one I had, the Sunshine Daydream, that was like 2 months, was pretty good, but kind of losing a bit of something. And this one is Citra and Galaxy hops at 6.5% alcohol, same as the other one I had. Probably similar. Actually, I don't know if it's a similar malt bill because that looks darker, but I do find that the Southern Hemisphere hops tend to make paler beers. I don't really know what it is. Oh, but Galaxy's in this, so who knows? It could be a different malt bill, but a lot of brewers do a lot of IPAs and double IPAs at the same ABV with very similar malts. And that one looks pretty good. It's just a very orange color, maybe a little bit of a dark orange, and it's not ultra murky, but it's pretty darn hazy. I can sort of see my finger through there, but up here, straight on haze. It almost looks a little bit like Julius from Treehouse. Maybe it's a little bit paler. It smells nice. It smells very different. This brewery seems to have a yeast strain, or the way they use their yeast is not really big with the esters in your face. This just smells very much like orange juice. Yeah, the Galaxy is not throwing a lot of green menthol-y stuff. Just a hint of it. But they seem to be coming together to make some orange and underripe pineapple. I mean, maybe even some ripe pineapple. Yeah, it's just like a good combo of sweet citrus and a little bit of the tropical stuff. Maybe not very peachy. Smells a little bit like Sloop maybe, but better. Ooh. Different flavor. I guess it eventually just turns into a really nice sweet orange, which I like. If you can make your IPA really big, sweet orange tasting, I'm a fan of it. Yeah, almost like an orange soda type thing. But at first on the palate, it was like a little malty. It's just a little bit of sweet malt that's pulling it to a little bit more of a sugary thing, like sugary cereal, and a little more tropical, kind of papaya, I guess. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's just like kind of a little bit more of a sugary thing, but then it finishes with pretty nice, juicy, slightly bitter citrus, but like real orange juice. Yeah, it's more of that in the aroma too. Finishes pretty clean, pretty drinkable, but there's almost like a hint of like a Sierra Nevada type yeast. I wonder if they figure out how to use like a clean American ale yeast and get this sort of hop expression and haze, because it reminds me of the esters that I get from more West Coast beers. That's one reason why Sierra Nevada is very different from New England and hazy beers, is because they use a specific yeast strain It has its own unique esters, but they're not pulling out as much of the tropical juicy notes from the hops. Um, but this one still manages to be a little tropical and juicy. It's just very orange forward, very citrus. And yeah, a little bit of citrus sappiness. But Galaxy sometimes can be too green, too much of a wallop in your face. This is one where, like, at first I wouldn't have noticed it was Galaxy. Now I'm getting this cooling sensation, which is kind of the menthol thing. But it just, yeah, it's probably gonna, the bitterness will build up. But at first it was not very bitter. It's drinkable, for sure. It's got pretty nice medium soft body, not gigantic. But it's not bubbly and a bite, giving you a bite that or a throat burn. It's not coarse. Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know if I did this thing. Maybe I did. But there you go. The bubbles are popping quite fast and loud. But the head's not dying so fast, so it's not like a DDH beer that's really coarse in the feel. It doesn't feel like seltzer and biting, you know. And it's very different from their other one. Maybe there's similar sort of feel and bitterness a little bit. And it's got a little bit of this lip smacking brisk thing in the finish now. Getting a little more of like a lemony type bitterness. Lemon peel. Maybe that's sort of the Galaxy hops kind of coming out now. Which is good because at first it was like very sweet citrus and tropical. This is great, I would say. It's a 4 point. Excuse me. It is carbonated, but not too carbonated. 4 point, close to a 4.4. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's 4.35. Sure. Bye.